Time for Journalists Interactive, and Aisha is here. Good evening to you, Aisha.
Good evening, Israel. Time you've been waiting for the interactive segment. Let's get talking once you get all your social media gadgets. Now, join us on Facebook, on Joy News on TV, on Twitter. It's at Joy News on TV, and on WhatsApp, the number is 0560-800,000. And let's get talking. Please send your name, location while sending that message, but please don't call. All right, so President Mahama has broken his silence on why he remitted the sentence of the Montie trio. According to him, the sentence as handed them was harsh. They had shown remorse, and so of what benefit will it be if the three served their full sentence? We're asking, what do you make of the sentence, of the statement?
It would have deterred others, say, because they are, say, radio presenters. Yeah, it would have deterred the others from doing same. It would have served as maybe, it would have served as a deterrent for the others, so they wouldn't do the same thing as they do.
It wouldn't be any big deal, but because of political expediency, and NDC in power trying to use their power, and MPP also trying to play to the gallery by using their propaganda to get their own political points. I think that's the main thing, that the Montie three. But for me, if they serve 4 years in prison, it won't change anything much.
On my part, I think it was quite a rush for the president to come in to the fray in the first point, because the council and their own distance think that, okay, 4 months will be okay. Besides, what is 4 months? 1 month and then in jail and they're off. It is a bad example for the others to follow.
Oh, I think it would have been fair. A lot of people would have been satisfied with all these arguments and allegations they are making. They think the president is trying to change things for his own benefit or interest. But I think if they had served the 4 months, it would have been fair. Everybody would be happy.
It definitely should have deterred a lot of people from contempting the courts. I believe the judges were not harsh, as now a lot of people are saying. They should have been actually in jail, at least even for the 1/3 of the sentence that was actually given to them. They should have actually been in jail for that. Before, if there would be any pardon, it would be given to them, fine. But they should have been in jail. It should have deterred a lot of people from probing the same things.
It will be as a lesson, serve as a lesson to the country, because most people be on radio station, especially the morning shows, they sort of, they talk harshly, and then, sorry for me to say, some of them, I'll say they don't think well, and then, yes, they speak on the radio. So it will serve as a lesson to some people. So when they be on radio station, they will know how to speak.
Well, those were some interesting comments from the streets. Let's see what's coming on Facebook, and Israel will help us do that.
All right, so I have it here, and it says, Shivano says the president is frustrated, really, period. But I don't blame him, because those loose talkers were insulting people on his behalf, so he can say that. This shows the kind of president Ghana unfortunately has. Reject Mahama and save Ghana. That's what you think. Demdia says, I think it's high time we nip this Montie trio saga in the bud. Like the president said, what purpose would it have served? It was a good intervention, especially so when the president acted within the ambit of the constitution. Prince Nuruddin says John Mahama should have told all Ghanaians that he free the contemnors who threatened to kill judges on political basis, because it is obvious to the general public. Ghanaians will decide come December 7. Kojo Safo Kantanga says, I am shocked. Didn't Mugabe say he was working for President Mahama? The woman who was jailed 10 years for carrying weed had also shown remorse and should be giving remission as well. Emilia says, Mr. President, please, have you listened to the gentleman that was wrongly accused for the past 29 years, which he has pleaded with you in public on national TV to pardon him so he can die peacefully at home, as he's 70 years now? How do you feel? In prison for something you didn't do, from even pardon from the man who accused him or put him into that trouble? Please open your ears and eyes. Montie cannot save you, sir. Good night. And Boitina says, even though I was for their remand, on hindsight, I thought as much that this whole issue was an NDC intra issue, though the lives of these judges matter. The NDC made him flag bearer and subsequently president. And so if you protected NDC fanatics, it wasn't bad, but they could have served 2 months minimum term. Long live Ghana.
And Teacher Tanko, he didn't send where he sent it from, but he says the president goofed big time by releasing them. You'll feel the effects during voting time. Chef Manatunsu says, frankly, Aisha, the president is now a Facebook president. President Mahama should get serious a bit, and a frustrated president by all standards. And that's coming from Chefman. Ghanaians, they talk too much. And this from Ali Mohammed from Atebo. Mohammed Adnan from Salaga says, President Mahama has not done well at all. He has degraded the power of the judiciary. Very soon, people will do more than that in the name of President pardoning them. I can't think far with this precedent. And Razak from Tumu says, the president has clearly told Ghanaians that he will do anything to remove the people that support him. JM December 7 is at the corner. And this is coming from Tieku from Koforidua. Please rephrase your message. And this one, Edem from Edem says, what the president did was really unnecessary because the president heard them when they were raining all those insults, yet he did nothing about it. He could have stopped them, but because they were speaking for him, he only watched them continue. And those were some of your comments on WhatsApp. Now, top South African court has cleared the way for an 8-year-old girl born to Cuban parents to be granted South African citizenship. This will enable her to have access to health care, education, and other welfare services which she had been denied. As her parents have been out of Cuba for some time, the girl had been unable to claim Cuban citizenship, and so she had been effectively left stateless. This test case will affect other children in such legal limbo. Question: if you were stateless and given an opportunity to choose a state, which state will you opt for in Africa and why?
Well, I pray that it never happens. But if it does, I'll prefer South Africa. Why? Because politically, they're a little stable. Quite stable compared to other countries I know, and then economic-wise too, they are matured. So my best bet will be South Africa.
I would choose Ghana. The reason being, I love Ghana. It's a free state. There's respect for the rule of law. Yeah.
I'll take Ghana for instance. Ghana will be okay because it's peaceful and it's a school, and I'm okay with Ghana. That is why I love Ghana.
Botswana, because it's the most peaceful nation in Africa. Yeah, that would be the main reason.
I would have chosen South Africa. It's a beautiful country, and I think most of the things they do, they pretty much think like whites.
I'll say South Africa. Yeah, South Africa, because of the infrastructure development. Unfortunately, it seems as if there's still a bit of racism there, so it might be difficult for blacks. But when it comes to infrastructural development, South Africa is one of the best, so I'll choose South Africa.
I would choose Nigeria because Nigeria is a place to be, and it's very, let me say, it's comfortable, and standard of living there is okay, their economy, so I think that Nigeria is better for me.
Well, I would choose South Africa because I think if we talk of development, they are far ahead of most African countries. I think they are ahead of African countries, and then I like their tourist side, tourism and all. Yeah, I think South Africa would be my African country if I'm supposed to choose an African country.
I'll take Ghana because Ghana is a very peaceful country, and one thing that I've observed about Ghanaians, they actually sometimes, they will talk about, maybe when there's a problem, they will talk about it, but taking action, as in a very weird action against that, So it's like, though we Ghanaians, we rush in doing certain things, but then we are also mindful of certain actions like going beyond our limits as in comparing it to what is happening at other countries. So
interesting comments from the streets now on Facebook.
All right,
you can
so
imagine how many messages are coming.
Yeah, there are a number of messages. There's one, I'll come to that. Andrew says Ghana. David says, I'll choose Cape Verde because of their wealth, resources, and environment. At the same time, their population is also small. Rashid says South Africa, of course, because there are jobs, opportunities, good medical care, low propaganda, and above all, they're white women, which I can date. And he says that he wants to give birth to our children. Sana says, I'll choose USA, because that is where I believe I belong to.
Well, USA is not in Africa.
Papa Abeka says SA for sure, but if I'm to be a Muslim, I'm up for Egypt. Francis says Sudan. Wow. Batoski says none. I'd rather go to Mars. We'll say, well, Mars is not in Africa. Bawa says I'll choose Ghana. Black says Ghana because nowhere cool. And Bismarck says Ghana because of the peace we enjoy. No xenophobia, no racism, but one region full pass hell. Oh, how? Well, it's fine. You didn't mention the region, which is fine. Just keep it that way. Kofi says we choose Ghana because everything here is a joke, so I will always be happy. Happily laughing. And Charles Fenuku says this question is like suicide. You know where in Africa is good enough for human beings? Oh, why? There are lots of places. I mean, Ghana for one. Yeah.
And on WhatsApp, this one didn't add the name. He says, I will choose Ghana because it's the peaceful and blessed country. Mohammed Adnan says, I would have chosen South Africa because they are well developed and employment opportunities are there. Why? But because of their xenophobic attacks. And this one says, in fact, I'm stateless. Please, multimedia, help me to South Africa tomorrow, I beg. And this is coming from Agomenya. We can only help you to the South African embassy. And if they give you a visa, you will go. And this one says, I'll choose Somalia because there are no nonsense people. Kingsman from Aflao. Those are some messages on WhatsApp. Now, a young man from Guangzhou, China, who was publicly rejected by his best friend when he proposed to her. The student staged one of the fruitiest and elaborate marriage proposals in recent times, putting together an astonishing hat of pomelos on the floor of his university mall. Reports say that the man sang to the lady just to please her to say yes. But guess what? After going through this hassle, the lady rejected him. Now, question, how would you feel if you were in the man's position? Do you think the lady should have saved the man the public embarrassment by saying yes? And would you have gone through this much trouble to ask a lady out?
I wouldn't be disappointed, but I think maybe that kind of feeling I have for the lady doesn't see it or feel it like that. So if I'm in a guy's position, I would actually make the lady aware of my love. You know, it's inbuilt. And they've been in a relationship, I guess. Yeah, so they know each other for long. So therefore, I think the lady should accept the guy. It's a disappointment, seriously. It's very... Well, I think maybe it's kind of a scheme. Seriously, because you dating for quite a long time and the guy proposing with a lot of fruits, and even it's in the shape of a love, and you rejecting. Well, I think the lady, she's dramatic. Seriously, she's dramatic.
Though is an embarrassment, but if I'm in the man's position, I would have to just accept it as it is. Because if the lady does not love me, you know, she cannot do anything just to, you know, just ignore me. And it will be a very big mistake if the lady should, for the sake of the embarrassment, accepting it, and then later on it will also affect the guy. So it's a nice thing the lady did, and then I think though it's an embarrassment to the guy, but you know, it will not be easy for me to cope with that situation. But
sometimes trying to cling on certain relationship doesn't work at all. You're better off letting go in the very beginning before you get hurt later. So I think he went too far. From the onset, the relationship was doomed to fail. And then he tried to employ other tactics, it didn't work out. It was quite an embarrassment though, but I think he'll learn from that going forward.
So those were some interesting comments. I wish I could read your messages, but time will not allow us. Let's go on with our trending video where Kum Chacha is trying to deliver consular lectures. Let's check that out.
The power of God, spirit to be a two man, power. Holy Spirit, Spirit, Holy Ghost, Spirit in that two more, Holy Ghost, Menonto, pay down some more, pay down some more, pay down some more, Bonnie be a two more out there, and some combo pie.
Interesting deliverance.
I mean, the Council Lucas could actually sue him.
Yeah, because this is not funny at all.
Yeah,
it's not funny. Very interesting there. Well,
essentially amounts to assault, actually.
You see, and it's been an interesting conversation. My director says it's time, so I can't talk further, and that'll be it. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Have a lovely evening.